must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
You indeed told me that a jobless Kenyan is a desperate Kenyan. You told me also that a hungry Kenyan is a negative Kenyan. You told me that a sick Kenyan is a weak Kenyan. And you also told us that a homeless Kenyan is a Kenyan without hope. You, the Kenyan people, spoke clearly. We want dignity. We want to put enough food on our tables. And we want a lower cost of living. We listened. Since, and on reflection, I have come up with 4 responses to these concerns, and I call them the big 4. Food security, affordable housing, manufacturing, and affordable health care for all.
That is the position on the big 4. Food security, health, universal health care, housing, affordable housing, manufacturing. Many of the people in the rural areas would like to know how food security is very important, to have food enough for eating and enough surplus for export, to have enough food to feed families. Many people would like to know what universal health care is. We need to start to talk to people, to tell them, to do documentaries. How is the fishing? What type of fishing can be done on a small 1 acre? We need to go out inside in the villages, get our teams that can come up with all documentaries, weekly, daily, so that fishing can be improved. Fishing can become one of the food. When people talk about food in Africa, Miriam, in Siaya, for example, people think of the maize, but fish is also a food item that must be stored, that must have facilities for.
The 4th element is food security and nutrition. Since independence, we as a people have sought to ensure that our citizens enjoy food security and proper nutrition. And while we have made good progress, the challenge, however, remains yet to be fully conquered. It is time to address once and for all the multiple and interlocking factors that leave too many Kenyans at risk of hunger. Our immediate actions start now. We will bring targeted taxation to bear to put arable land to use. We will continue to encourage and facilitate large-scale commercial agriculture to diversify our staples through irrigation and other technologies. We will protect our water towers. Small-scale farmers will receive better extension services and market access, and subsidies will be redesigned to improve food yields and production quality.
We have said 3 items: obstacles, success, and the challenges. One of the obstacles is when the agenda was set out, there was quite a lot of politics that was involved. So time has come for us to remove politics from it and assure the people, the ordinary people, the ordinary citizen of Kenya, that if you have this, you can improve the food security. If you do this, you'll improve the healthcare system. If you do this, if you can plan for a cheaper housing in your local area, a cheaper industry, an industry, a cottage industry. For example, look at what we want people. How many youths can gather themselves into a group in Kayole? 10 youths. If you can be washing people's clothes, ironing them, their shirts, when they come from school, they pay you 300 shillings or 100 shillings, Bob, or 20. And if you are doing that as a small group, this is, you see, a small cottage industry begins there. then you end up with a huge, dry cleaner in Kayole, made by youth. But most of the people in our African context, especially Kenya and Uganda and other places, people are focused on the government getting them the jobs. But there is a job. There is the youth fund where you can go and borrow 50,000 shillings and buy dryer, buy this, buy that. You iron people's clothes. There are so many people who are lazy who want, I'm not condemning them, but they go to work very early in the morning. They don't have time to wash this cloth. But you can say, bring your shirts here. You'll have them in the tomorrow morning. You put in a dryer, iron, another youth is ironing. You earn your living. You create employment for yourselves and for the people surrounding you.
So job creation.
I want you in this spirit to also turn to the person sitting or standing next to you. Greet them and say how proud you are to be Kenyan, and tell them that you are their keeper. Because to be Kenyan, at its core, is about loving your neighbor.
Punchline Africa TV opposes any form of terrorism, and our policy is very clear. We condemn Al-Shabaab, we condemn Boko Haram, we condemn Al-Qaeda, we condemn any remnants of Al-Qaeda cells that linger on this African continent, that maim people, innocent people. All these acts are not done by a particular religion. People have just picked religion and used it. In Kenya, in East Africa, and in Africa, we should be vigilant. That is, now we don't know. You can be very, well equipped at your doorstep or at your gate, but you don't know. Up in the crowd when we are moving in town, in cities, in Dar es Salaam, in Mwanza, in Kampala, in Kigali, in Johannesburg, these people have come closer to our cities. In Nairobi, you might be moving and somebody just starts stabbing you. I think they have changed these tactics. So we must be vigilant ourselves as citizens of these countries in Africa. Together we shall one day wipe out all forms of terrorism that have actually widened the gaps or the gulf between the people, the religions, and the type of hatred that is coming out is not very, very good.
A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us this morning. This is Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Gutu, and of course the television station is Punchline Africa TV, and we are coming to you from Kenya's capital here in Nairobi. And on the show, as usual, I'll take us through the three leading newspapers here. But before we get to that, let's bring ourselves up to date with the current situation in regards to COVID-19 in the country. And we start with Kenya, where the confirmed cases is at 71,729 cases. The death toll is 1,302. Recovery so far is 47,262 cases. Uganda also, the numbers there have continued to go on an upward trajectory there, right now standing at 16,563 cases. The death toll is 150, and recoveries in Uganda is at 8,277 cases there. And then the total cases in Africa this morning is about 1,715 cases. 750,000 and then 312 cases. And the number of deaths in the continent stands at 52,001, and recoveries is at 1,376,225. The global statistics right now are nearing 56 million, right now standing at over 55.9 million cases, and the fatalities there stands at 1,343,379 cases, and recoveries are nearing about 39 million, right now standing at over 38.9 million cases worldwide. So that is the situation in line with COVID-19. Douglas Bundi Kirimi, thank you so much. You're saying you're watching us all the way from Meru County this morning. I hope you're doing well, and Meru is doing very well. We saw there the spread of COVID-19 even in the government offices there, so that prompted the governor to close and only leave some very skeleton staff there, so that be it of some service, the essential services can continue, but the rest of the staff can go home and isolate and quarantine until everybody is okay. So yeah, it is a worry across all our 47 counties, and of course those political rallies, especially that used to be in those Mount Kenya region very much, did not do any good in regards to the situation with COVID-19. All right, very well. So as I wait for the rest of my panelists to join me, let's just start with the Daily Nation this morning. And on the front pages there of the Daily Nation, school fees pinch in 4 term years, and lobby indicates it will petition the government to increase the free primary and secondary school cash allocation and negotiate a grace period for settling of fees arrears as the financial burden of 8 terms in 2 years hits home and worse. Education Ministry pushes cost of complying with COVID-19 protocols to parents, and the masks and all of that. And so that is something that the parents here in the country will have to grapple with. 11 weeks, the longest school term in the revised plan that will run for 2 years will be 11 weeks. The average of the 8 crash terms will be 10 weeks, significantly shorter than current schedules. I don't know what parents will think about this. And then up there, civil servants get enhanced medical cover. Now, civil servants will benefit from an enhanced comprehensive group life insurance cover in a 6.3 billion Kenya shillings, a deal to be launched today as the government moves to improve terms of service for its workforce. The scheme, which is a significant improvement from the group life and last expense benefits previously, allocated about 839 million Kenya shillings annually, also entails enhanced work injury and accident benefits. A cabinet memo shows that 3.3 billion Kenya shillings will cater for the group life cover, inclusive of COVID-19, pegged at 8 times the gross salary for employees across all job groups, as well as 3 million Kenya shillings for critical illness. So I think that will be some very good news there for our civil servants. All right, so that is what is on the front pages there. On COVID-19. So how Catholic Fit became a COVID-19 spreader event, Bishop Priest ill. Let's just look at that. This carelessness we see, especially around our churches there. Page 10, what does this story say before we get into the ODM fights for party funding and all of that? All right, let's just see how these priests and the gatherings in the churches have become a fertile ground for the spread of COVID-19, and we've kept saying here a lot of times. So now you see. All right. Nyeri Catholic Diocese Archbishop Anthony Muheria could have contracted COVID-19 while presiding over the ordination of a priest over a week ago, the nation has learned. The event was held at Giaka Bay Catholic Parish in Mathira East, Nyeri County on November 8th. Sources within the Catholic Church and the county government in Nyeri confirmed to the nation that he has been sick for the last 2 weeks but is responding well to treatment. Now, the nation learned that he presided over the ordination of Father Paul Mburu, where he interacted with scores of faithfuls and other priests. Father Mburu is said to be in self-quarantine. Now, the nation reached out to the Archbishop yesterday. He neither denied nor confirmed contracting the virus, but also thanked us for reaching out. All right, so we wish him a very quick recovery there. But also that goes to tell all of us that, we should all be very careful, and just be careful, especially when you're in public or when you are in the presence of other people. Just be very careful and ensure that you observe these protocols that has been laid by the government, lay down procedures in terms of ensuring that we're all safe from COVID-19. So that is a story on the Daily Nation. Let's just look at page 4 of the Daily Nation there. Raila lays ground for BBI plebiscite in grand 4 million signature bid. And planners of the Building Bridges initiative have rolled out a grand plan to collect more than 4 million signatures in a record 7 days the nation has established. Key to the strategy is the division of the country into 14 regions, each with between 3 and 4 counties. The 14 regions will have coordinators who will be answerable to the National Steering Committee, co-chaired by National Assembly Minority Whip Junet Mohammed and former Dagoretti South Member of Parliament Dennis Waweru. Yesterday, Orange Democratic Movement leader Raila Odinga, President Uhuru Kenyatta's partner in the push to change the constitution, said it was all systems go. All right, so there you go. The BBI team there are strategizing on how they plan to collect these required, signatures so that it can be presented to the IEBC, and that will allow for the start of the road to a referendum there. And then on page 5, ODM fights for party funding. And then on the side there, don't shift Obado case, EACC urges court. All right, very well. So let's just read that, because also it's important. It's a story that we've been following. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has opposed a bid to transfer the case facing Governor Okoth Obado from Nairobi to Migori. Replying to an application by Jared Opala Otieno, an associate of Mr. Obado, the agency said the governor is an influential figure and may intimidate witnesses into failing to testify. It added that Mr. Patroba Ochanda Otieno, an employee of the devolved unit, and other accused are people of great means and politically connected. So they're saying Obado's team had requested that his case be moved from Nairobi to Migori, and the EACC is saying no, that will be a bad idea because of the kind of influence Obado and the rest of the accused have over there. So it will, even they're saying that the witnesses might be scared to go out there and testify. And you know what? Perhaps EACC has a point to that. I'm joined by Professor Jared Onyari. Professor, very good morning to you. Okay, as we wait there for Professor to... Professor, good morning.
Morning to you, Miriam.
All right. Okay, nice to have you on the show. So there, Obado was asking for his case to be transferred back to Migori. Why do you think he wanted that to happen?
You know, by law, you are supposed to be charged where the crime was committed, and in terms of traveling, those kind of things is what you consider. I don't know. Perhaps maybe the judge who will be trying there, maybe a memona, the magistrate, and those kind of things.
Okay.
But one of the things here is, Miriam, it is very convenient for where the crime. Is there a corruption court in Migori?
I think that could be a bigger question. And also, I'm being asked if you could just adjust your lighting situation just a little bit. But yeah, and then also maybe the nature of the crime. Does it matter, the nature of the crime and the person?
If there is an anti-corruption court, he can be tried there. But I don't think there's a corruption court in Migori. It can be in Kisumu or Kisii.
All right, very well. Thank you so much. And on the front pages of the Star newspaper, BBI clash, Uhuru Raila launch signature drive. Janet Ongera, Sarah Mwiria, Junet Mohammed, and Dennis Waweru to head the secretariat. And then, all right, there you go. So the story is on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper, and I think I just looked at it on the Daily Nation there. And a showdown is in the offing as President Uhuru Kenyatta and his handshake partner Raila Odinga launched the signature drive for the contentious referendum. There's no public consensus. An NIS report to Uhuru says only 19% of the country wants a referendum, but the drive will begin tomorrow. The drive means the two have slammed the door on many changes to the disputed Building Bridges Initiative proposals. And NIS, our report there, says that 19% of Kenyans, 19% of the country wants a referendum. I don't know, who did they ask? Will that be appropriate? I mean, accurate?
19%?
Apparently, according to an NIS report. This is on the Star, so it's not, I don't know if it's a substantiated report, but they're saying according to an NIS report, apparently only 19% of the country wants a referendum.
Unless Miriam, it is scientific, we cannot ignore. We can take it, but if it is not scientific, but being in the NIS person, they have got intelligence, and at the moment, Miriam people, what is on the top of the people is Miriam is COVID-19, and the standards of living Miriam. People are fearful. People have lost jobs. People don't have livelihoods, Miriam. So when you ask Kenyans what will their priorities Miriam can be, I know BBI cannot be number one, but it doesn't mean that they don't want it. Yeah, that's what I can tell you. Even from where you stand, Miriam, this Corona thing is really wreaking havoc, Miriam. So if you ask someone in the moment, and it depends what kind of questions were put before these people, Miriam.
Yeah. And
so at the moment, people are so much concerned about Corona, Miriam.
All right, so on Monday, Ruto trashed the BBI recommendations as a bad document and warned against refusing to open it for amendments. He expressed regret at the costly 2-year product that had turned out to be highly controversial and with so many glaring gaps. Those driving the BBI should not tell Kenyans that they have no time for further amendments. If we cannot enrich the document, then we will end up with a bad constitution because it works. Its work was entirely unprofessional, the deputy president said. So he's saying he's threatened to lead the No campaign, the same No campaign he's been saying people are trying to push him to lead. So now I think he's just stuck there in the middle, and he does not know which side really to turn. Deputy president there threatening to lead the No campaign. I mean, that is what a lot of Kenyans have perceived he's going to do.
Miriam, I did say here the other day, and I don't know whether you listened to me, there are some animals which walk in the night. In the daytime, they cannot see. And in daytime, in the night, they cannot see. There is no doubt, Miriam, this consensus thing, Miriam, the deputy president is trying to be cunning to get an excuse to lead in the No campaign. To say, no, now since you did not factor the gaps we were trying to say, then we don't support it. But it's no. Nobody doesn't know that this is where it's wrong, Miriam. Miriam, you can't wait for 24 months, 22 years, 8 months, 32 months. You have got no idea, and then you talk about the gaps, which you do not understand.
And you had time.
He should go, Miriam. He should go, sit down, and he will be taken by the experts, Miriam. He will be able to understand even some of the issues which the pastoralist people were raising, Miriam, about agriculture. Agriculture is part of pastoralism, about crops, about fisheries, Miriam. But since we want to work together and they will clarify terms which they want to understand, we will say agriculture is farming, is livestock, is fisheries, Miriam. There's no problem with that. So what the deputy president should do is to ask the services of the experts. In any event, Miriam, he had admitted he's a slow runner himself. He admitted in broad daylight. So I think he should be taken through the document, and they will be able to understand that the gaps and the fear he's trying to come up with, they are not true. Like now, Miriam, we have demystified about the ombudsman. Why? It is Kenyans who feel that some of the churches are being put to write judgment which is not favorable to them. So in that, and the Chief Justice, the president for the Supreme Court, is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, is the chairman for Judicial Service Commission. This is a man who has got immense powers, Miriam. He must also find someone who is accountable, not someone whom he employs.
And in fact, this very person who will be appointed, there will be a panel which will be selected to interview them. If when Kenya has got an issue of the person who will be taken there, Miriam, he could be able to report. Then the president will nominate, he will be taken to parliament, he will be vetted, and eventually the president will appoint simply because he's the head of state. All right. So anybody can have anybody if they don't like the name of the office order, Miriam. It is the constitution where it says at the moment, Miriam, the president for the Republic of Kenya is Uhuru Kenyatta. He's not going to go to the streets and pick somebody and say that the Kenyans will apply. They will be shortlisted. They will be vetted by Director for Criminal Investigation for all agencies and corruption. Name them, Miriam. And eventually they will be shortlisted. They will go for the interview, and Kenya will have an issue. Will take their complaint there, Miriam. So, from where I sit, the deputy president has never supported the BBI, and he has never stood for anything which takes Kenya forward, Miriam. Everybody, you have your history, I have my history. The deputy president has got his history. It could have been a miracle for Miriam if he could have supported this. In 1992, when we were going to multi-party democracy, he chose to be in YK, a very dangerous and lethal group for the young people. As we have been going reform 2005, 2002, Miriam, when Kenyans were having the NAC revolution, trying to deal with KANU, he stuck with KANU. 2005, Miriam, he was in the no campaign. 2010, Miriam, he was in the no campaign. And even the no campaign now, Miriam, we expected an opportunity has come for him to give us the gaps of 2010 constitution. He has not even said any.
But I think according to him right now, you know, when he even led the no campaign in the last referendum, right now the stakes are much higher for him, being that he's looking to run for the presidency in 2022. So he has to be strategic on how he goes about this, and him losing that right now, should he decide to be the leader of the no campaign and then he loses, then that may not augur well for his ambitions on 2022. So I think that is where he finds very difficult for him now. And so he's been calling on consensus, because as we have been saying, and I think that is what is apparent, and even one of his very close allies the other day came out and said, no, we know what you're planning. You want Ruto to go to the no camp so that rift between him and President Uhuru Kenyatta continues. I mean, the rift is already there. President Kenyatta came out and said, you know, we were running this race together, but you decided to turn your back and do a different thing. And so these things that you're denying, I informed you, you're part of them. Since the deputy president has not come out to say president line, so we assume President Kenyatta was right. Yeah.
Miriam, I want you to take this one, and I want you to write it down. And one day time will vindicate me. You don't just wake up from nowhere, Miriam, and you say that you want to be a president of the Republic of Kenya. You must be on the queue. President Uhuru Kenyatta tried in 2002. He had to wait for 10 years. William has never tried to be a president of this country. He has never contested. So he doesn't think that he's going to contest and then you become. I have said to aspire is not to become. He is aspiring for that office.
And how many times?
And I'm here this. Yeah. Professor George Saitoti, he was the vice president for this republic for 14 years. In 2002, he was told that you cannot stand. And George Saitoti, this is what he said, Miriam, and these are the words I want to give our deputy president. There come a time, Miriam, when the nation comes number one. The President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Prime Minister Miriam are committed to build a united Kenya. Leave other things. 2022 will come, Miriam. People will contest. Who will become a president, God knows. But we must create institutions, Miriam, and rules, and change our constitution to make Kenya a stable country, Miriam. So I want to beseech the deputy president, Miriam, that when you are a vice president, you are not entitled, Miriam, that you will be a president, but you will keep on trying. Kenya will consider. Remember, Miriam, Musalia Mudavadi was a vice president of this country. He has not become a president, and he's not so aggressive that he wants to become one. Munda Awori was a vice president of this country. He has not been very aggressive that he want to become a president of this country, Miriam. Kalonzo Musyoka, Miriam, was a vice president of this country. So the fact that, Miriam, you are a deputy president, you are far. Look, even United States of America, Miriam, Al Gore was the deputy president, Miriam, vice president. Did he become one? Joe Biden was a vice president for 2 terms. Did he even consider to try in 2016? But he tried 2022. No. So you must be very strategic, Miriam. Even if you want these things, hide your pride, hide your ambitions, you will get it. At the moment, Miriam, this constitution has got nothing to do with Raila Odinga, has got nothing to do with Uhuru Kenyatta. It has got something to do with the United Kenya. And I have said with a lot of sincerity, if he has got any issue, let him just walk and talk to the prime minister or the president. Each issue will be captured, Miriam. So when you just bring people to your home, Miriam, you give them some snacks and some milk, Miriam, and then you start Christians. How does it help you, Miriam? You go to a funeral, you go to a church. Now, how will his views, Miriam, will be factored? Mm-hmm. Will we invite you that now, Miriam, bring those consensus? There is a structured way. You have seen what the pastoralist people have done. You have seen the cost of people, what they have done, Miriam. You go to those people, Miriam, and you present your case. Miriam, always a good idea will always be met a better idea.
Mm-hmm. All right. And we're joined by Javan Karanja from Nanyuki. Javan, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam. Good morning to Professor. And good morning to our viewers, wherever they are watching us from. Thank you.
All right, very well. So as we were looking on the newspapers this morning, on page 4 and 5 of the Star, where BBI Clash Uhuru Raila launch signature drive, it has started. So the journey of BBI Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020. Promoters formulate draft bill. The second party's draft bill delivered to the IEBC. IEBC verifies 1 million signatures accompanying bill. IEBC submits draft bill to 47 county governments, and then MCAs will have 90 days to pass or reject the proposal. And then after that, the county assembly speakers notify Senate and National Assembly. And then MPs will debate and pass or reject bill as presented, and then if not for referendum, MPs pass the bill for assent by president, and if for referendum, then bill is submitted to the people to vote. So that will be the process, and we see they've started the signature collection there. And yesterday, Deputy President William Ruto continued with his consensus calls, and he said those driving the BBI should not tell Kenyans that they have no time for further amendments. If we cannot enrich the document, then we would end up with a bad constitution because its work was entirely unprofessional. So he's saying what we have right now doesn't cut it. Javan, what's your opinion?
Yes, and Miriam, and I want to agree that the process has taken 2 years, and if any even Kenyans who thought that they had a very great idea to make Kenya a better country, they were given a chance to present their proposals, to present their recommendations, and to do that for a period of 2 years, Miriam. If you have failed to do that now, I don't see if there will be any window in future in this process to amend or to take your views, Miriam, because these people have been fighting the document. They refuse to take their views. But now, after realizing that these are waves that is really serious with Kenyans, and Kenyans have started reading the document, and mostly people are now starting to interpret and understand what is the benefits of this document. Then that is when they have realized that they need to give their proposals. Miriam, if they care for Kenyans, and if they had that heart to care for the hustlers and the people of common wananchi of this country, they could have presented those good ideas at time when that process was ongoing. Miriam, everything that we have in this country, even in our lives, we have to get some timelines and deadlines and some way to get there. Miriam, you cannot start a journey without a clear definition of where you're heading to. You need to have a compass, a direction, a map of where you want to go and where your destination is. That's exactly what the process was, and the process was so much consultative, involved all people. Therefore, this is I think they have come they are too late, and they should also think of going for and oppose the document, because Miriam, the problem that I said yesterday, these people are forcing their ideas. You know, you cannot call for a consensus when you are the one who is setting the rules and conditions that should be followed in that process. Therefore, that is hypocritical and that is uncalled for. And Miriam, as it stands now, let's go for a referendum. If the North side will carry the day, there's no problem. We'll have a better day tomorrow to amend the constitution. If the people who win, the people will vote yes, and they win, then the others who voted no, in future they'll have another chance to amend the constitution. Because this constitution, Miriam, is not the final process. This is not the first and the last amendment. We'll have more amendments in future. Therefore, nobody should feel like it is a must for them to come with their own ideas. Because, Miriam, the problem is the people who are bringing their ideas now, these are self-centered ideas. They don't champion, they don't hold any water. Because if they thought were good ideas, they could have presented to the steering committee. And for the time being, Miriam, the same people who are calling for the consensus are the same people who are telling us that everything should stop, including the BBI, so that we focus on the COVID-19. And these are the same people who have been going around, not observing the guidelines and the protocols to curb the spread of COVID-19. Therefore, these people are speaking from the both sides of the tongues, and that is not a good gesture, especially for leaders who want to lead this country tomorrow or in the future days. Therefore, Miriam, as it is now, I support what the former Prime Minister and the Presidents are doing. Let us continue. Let the journey continue, because we have already kickstarted the journey. The car is ignited. Let's continue with the journey. And in the course, if the process will not see the light of the day, if Kenyans vote no, then Kenya will stand, because this is a country, it belongs to all of us, Miriam.
All right, and in response,
Miriam, let me have this to say before you go to the next question.
No, I wanted to Raila's response.
Okay,
maybe you can come in.
on.
Well, he responded to what Deputy President Ruto said, that, I mean, you cannot tell us there's no more time. There is time. We have time. And Raila said those are his views. He is entitled to his views. There will always be doubting Thomases in any process, and that is why we are saying, if you disagree with the BBI proposals, let's meet in the field. Useme yako, tuseme yetu, and then you sell your position as we sell ours. So that is what Raila Odinga responded. Go ahead, Professor.
Thank you, Miriam. He is trying to say that this constitution, the amendment we are trying to propose, will be a bad one. Fine, Miriam, let me just ask you. At the moment, at the Senate, we are only having 21 female senators. In this arrangement, Miriam, we are saying 47, half, 50%. Is that an improvement or no improvement, Miriam? Miriam, in the current parliament, we are only having 47 members of parliament. It's only 21%, Miriam. But now we are saying that we are making special constituencies where female ladies will go, female members of parliament will go and contest. Is that an improvement or not an improvement, Miriam? And we are saying now political parties, before they represent their risk to IPC, Miriam, of their candidates, it must consider to that gender rule, Miriam. Is that an improvement or not an improvement, Miriam? As we speak now, Miriam, we don't have a youth commission for the young people. Now we are going to have a commission to specifically deal with the issues to do with the young people. Is that an improvement or no improvement, Miriam? As we speak now, the health workers, the doctors have been asking for their commission, National Health Commission, Miriam. We are proposing to be given. Is that an improvement, Miriam, or no improvement, Miriam? For the first time now, Miriam, there is no accountability of the judiciary. We are saying now, Miriam, we want the judiciary to be accountable. Is that an improvement or no improvement? As we speak now, Miriam, we want the head of government to be in parliament, to be answerable to the issues to do with the day-to-day running of the government. Is that an improvement or no improvement? Does the president go to parliament to answer questions? No. The prime minister will be in the parliament to answer questions. Many more improvement, Miriam. I have no idea, I have no doubt, Miriam. This is a total improvement from what we have. Counties are getting 15%. We are proposing to 35%. Is that an improvement or no improvement, Miriam? So, Miriam, if we are changing the constitution to make it better for the people of Kenya, not for an individual. Not for individual. And we are saying this constitution, what we are trying to do, it is no winner take it all. Miriam, we are talking about inclusivity. We want to share the responsibility for the people of Kenya. We want to feel like we are Kenyans, Miriam. Miriam, how I wish that to get the Deputy President, Miriam, to take him through. We would appreciate this document.
All right, thank you so much. Francis Moses, yes, I'm reading your comments there, and you're saying this is a one-sided discussion. Please let me know what you think about all these things, and write your comments there and I'll read them so that we are able to have both sides, all right? But thank you so much for watching us this morning. Keep writing. I will keep reading your comments and the rest of our viewers as we continue with the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we turn our attention now to the front pages of the Standard newspaper, and the headline there, when I saw this earlier today, I don't know, the photo that Standard chose to put there, the wailing governor, epic fall. A year ago, Nairobi County boss Mike Sonko was the baddest man in town. Like, okay, that was our governor. Our governor is the baddest man in town, flaunting bling and billions with the machismo of a godfather. He boasted a direct line to the president, and City Hall was his playground for fantastically political and civic engagements. Then the phones stopped ringing and Sonko went wild on social media, chasing shadows. I don't know. I'm sure when Sonko read that, let me just go to the story on page 4 there, the way Standard has described him there. But they've really captured the essence of what we see on the media, who our governor is. So a few months ago, the county's most popular governor, Mike Sonko, was riding high in speech, gait, and act. After getting that much votes in 2017 elections, victory made him a unique man in 2 ways. He has turned tables on a well-oiled campaign of incumbent Evans Kidero, and he was probably the only governor who got more votes than the president in a county. In Nairobi, President Uhuru Kenyatta garnered 791,000 votes, but Sonko got 871,000 votes here. So all of that, and we know he had a direct line to President Uhuru Kenyatta and all of that. So what do you think went wrong? Everything that is happening to our governor Mike Sonko right now, do you think it's his own making?
Yeah, and I agree that Miriam, this is a self-inflicted wounds, because Miriam, we see what the governor was doing. And I think he reached to a point where he forgot he was the governor, and he became more of a social media influencer, because you could see him wearing these funny looks, being in these expensive rings and so on. And to a point, he forgot he was the governor, and he had a responsibility, and there was a people who he was supposed to serve. And he went on even to a point of being arrogant, and you could see him even the way he was treating some of his people who are not associated, who are not his close allies. You could see he was not that fair to them. And even the fight that they had with the county speaker, sitting from a point of nothing. They were just having those conflicts, but those were just for the sake of to pave way and to show that he is the governor and he deserves to be respected. Not only the county speaker, they went on with some of the MCAs and so on. And to some point, he started saying that he is fighting the cartels in Nairobi and the City Hall. And at some point, Miriam, I don't know what happened. With no time, I saw him making an address from Machakos, saying that his life is in danger and he'll be operating from Machakos. And that shows that he interfered with the wrong people. And that shows that he promised the people of Nairobi he's fighting cartels. But it was like he was part of the system of those people who he was supposed to fight. And I think that is where the problem came in. And Miriam, all of this, I attribute all this kind of suffering to the people of Nairobi and to the person of Mike Sonko, to the voters of Nairobi who gave him the first priority to be their governor. Because Miriam, we had more other sober candidates, but I think because of the kind of politics that we have, that is why we end up having the likes of Mike Sonko, even in those top positions of being the governor, the head of a county, especially Nairobi. And that, you see, kind of leadership that he brought. He promised a lot to decongest the city, to end up to give water, pipe the water. But Miriam, to our surprise, he started giving rationed water through tanks, and his team Okoa Majinani. Sonko rescued him, that kind of team. And they were giving water with jelly cans and so on. And that Miriam, to some point, that is a culture of handouts, a culture that makes people to be reliant and to be dependent on, to depend on somebody and to live on the mercies of someone. That is not the kind of leadership that we want. We want leaders who come up with the policies. And I think Miriam, that is where he lost everything. And that is why I say these are self-inflicted wounds. He is suffering. He is a victim of his own doings. Because Miriam, if he maintained the lane, if he respected the authority, if he respected the people of Nairobi and worked the river services to them, he could not be having the kind of life he is having now. And Miriam, I think he talks too much. Miriam, to some point, as a leader, you need to measure your words, because the governor in topic is one who talks a lot to a point of saying words that are not supposed to come from a leader of his status. And I think that is what ailed him, and that is why today he is suffering. And that is why today he is more of a blogger than a governor that we hoped him to be. Yeah.
He's more of a blogger, and I've noted, because I've passed by City Hall the last couple of days early in the morning, the wonderful or the lovely lions that he had bought and placed there with nice weave on them. They're no longer there. And there were some automated traffic lights, very sophisticated, that he had bought and placed just near City Hall there. I noted they were not there. I don't know, maybe I didn't look keenly, but I realized those also have been removed. So, all right. So we've seen Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko even call General Badi Saddam Hussein, which I think was really, really off. And also Sonko, he ran so much, and there's a time he tweeted that I'm writing to the office of the prosecutor of the ICC to demand investigations into forced and arbitrary displacement of Nairobi residents by our own Kenyan soldier, which amounts to crimes against humanity and persecution. I mean, you can't take such things seriously. And I think that is a Professor.
Miriam, I have consistently continued to say, and I'm repeating for the third time, Miriam.
Lord.
Tembea na nguo zimeraruka kuliko kukua na akili imeraruka. Tutakupatia nguo kesho, and you will be a nice guy, a nice person. And this is what I want to demystify, that he got the largest votes more than the president himself. Miriam, the votes for the president, the one he got, they went to Sonko. Remove the difference of what Sonko got and what the president got. Those are the votes for Sonko. Remember, this country, Miriam, is so tribal, and you know most of the members of his communities were in ODM. They were into opposition. But when they know that our own, you know, that our own, that's how he managed those ones. So it's not more than what it is. So the votes which the president got are added to Sonko. So you remove the difference of 800 and you get what he got. That's the most funny thing about this country, Miriam. And let me just have this to say, Miriam. When you are in office, Miriam, there's what we call rule of law and good governance. The office you hold, Miriam, leadership dictates on how you behave. We have had cases, Miriam. A man who is sane. Can you call the president of a country on a phone and you put him on a loudspeaker? Let us be very honest. Even if I call you, Miriam, and you know that I'll put you on loudspeaker, will you ever take it kind?
And not just loudspeaker. I'll also record you at the same time.
And you have been seeing it records people, Miriam. So when it comes to leadership, Miriam, it is by mistake. And Miriam, you can see those who were not properly schooled or trained for the office of leadership. Some of those governors, Miriam, they are not in office. You can see. Look at Kiambu, look at Nairobi. And let me just have this to say, Miriam. He is an enemy of his own, Miriam. And I wonder, Miriam, did we tell him, or did the president tell him, Miriam, go and mismanage or steal, misappropriate funds which belong to the county of Nairobi? If you decided out of your own volition, Miriam, to do those, how do you come around and blame people, Miriam? Did we tell him not to appoint his deputy governor as required by law? Why do you turn around, Miriam, and you start blaming people? You know very well, as I do, Miriam, Nairobi is a very important station of United Nations. It is in the rig of New York, Vienna, and Geneva. That's the rig. It is an international city, Miriam. So we can't allow an international city, Miriam, which is the rig of New York, Geneva, Vienna, important stations of United Nations, so that it goes this way, Miriam. There was no way out, even if the law does not guarantee us to do though, that we can watch and see Nairobi being mismanaged, Miriam. You have been, instead of having running water in Nairobi, Miriam, you will see Songo Risco with tanks, Miriam, taking people to the slums. And the general, Miriam, the one is castigating Miriam. He managed to dig more than 100 boreholes within 100 days. This is a man who knows very well, tomorrow I will be out of office, but Nairobi will have water. What about if those tankers of these tanks of him runs down, Miriam? So in terms of leadership, Miriam, it was a mistake that he got an opportunity to be a member of Makadara, as a member of parliament, to be a senator, and to be a governor of Nairobi. And Miriam, you know, democracy is an horrible creature, you know. And it does not mean that when people are mature, they are right. Sometimes the majority can make wrong decisions, Miriam. And this is the situation we found here in Nairobi. But time has proved that, Miriam, that the office was too big for him. The shoes of our governor, Miriam, he cannot make it, Miriam. The governor of Paris, or the governor of London, or the governor for New York, when you come from there, Miriam, you become a president of a country. So that's how serious that office is, Miriam. And that's why in PPI, Miriam, we have said now in Nairobi, we made a mistake. That to allow Nairobi to have a governor, Nairobi must be managed by the national government, Miriam, because this is the capital city. So we are running mistakes, and Miriam, the worst thing you can do to a mistake is to repeat that mistake. But the best you can do is to correct that mistake, and we are correcting that mistake through BBI.
All right, so on November 1st, Sonko asked his followers on Twitter to vote for his mentor, Donald Trump. But when Trump lost to Biden, he congratulated him. I want to concede defeat on behalf of the many supporters of my friend, President Donald Trump. Sonko tweeted as it became apparent that I was losing. Trump hadn't said he had lost, so. But if the statement raised eyebrows, the subliminal message in the second part of the statement carried weight. I further wish to congratulate the U.S. system and deep state for failing to steal the presidential elections, unlike here in East and Central Africa. But at their heart, Sonko's recent rants also speak of his mental state, which should deserve attention. Referring to Biden's story of loss and dejection, Sonko said, without going into details, that he empathized with Biden, who lost his wife and daughter in a road accident in 1972 and contemplated suicide. So this is what Sonko tweeted. At some point, he wanted to commit suicide just like me because he went through a lot of pain and hard times. And I think that could explain I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to sit here and pretend that I can diagnose what's happening to our Governor Mike Sonko. But does that require a bit of attention? Is it his way of saying that, I need some help on certain things, or is it his way of wanting that attention, or should somebody pay keen attention and perhaps, talk to Governor Mike Sonko?
In fact, Miriam, as a chaplain and as a person who counsels, I can now understand him, Miriam. If he was not properly psychologically prepared and to live what he has undergone in the past, Miriam, these things sometimes they can come back and haunt you. The fact now that he's speaking out, Miriam, he was not properly debriefed So perhaps Miriam, if you get those kind of services, perhaps they will help him. Because I have, I have told you, Miriam, you can see some of the things are for his own making. Not someone who has gone to which him, Miriam. And now, if you reckon yourself with the Donald Trump, Miriam, then we now you can see now even Trump, Miriam, is on denial. Is on denial. When the Democratic Party, Miriam, were telling people to go do early voting, he was discouraging his supporters. He said that on the voting day, Miriam, he never took this coronavirus serious. He was saying this Chinese thing, this Chinese thing, this Chinese thing. And the people of the supporters of the Democratic Party, Miriam, they took the opportunity and went and voted. And now, Miriam, up to now, as we speak, Donald Trump is living on denial. He's on denial.
Apparently, his
and wait 20th January at noon, you will see how he will be evicted from White House, and you cannot imagine.
That will be so embarrassing, but I hope that he will leave before then. He will do the right thing. You know, and before Javan comes in to give his comments on that, even as we turn to look at President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy, Governor Mike Sonko has just tweeted and responded to that headline on the Standard Nation. The language he has used, I cannot read online because it is quite flowery. Not, you know, I can't even see certain things that he's read in that tweet, but you can go look at his Twitter. He's called them all sorts of names, and I'll just leave that there. So he's not very happy. The same way I looked at that and I was like, okay, Sonko might not be very happy with this headline. And true to my words, he is outraged.
You see, Miriam, as it confirmed what I've said, Miriam. When you are a reader, Miriam, let me tell you, so many people will say so many things about you. And sometimes there's no need for you to reply, to give response, Miriam.
So he lacks the temperament.
There's sometimes, Miriam, when silence becomes a golden answer to most of the people. Now he enters the trap and confirms what the standard newspaper has written. It confirms now.
Right.
It confirms.
He's used very huge words. But Karanja, go ahead, respond to that, and then we conclude that matter of our governor. But we wish him well. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we wish him well. But Miriam, maybe as a professor is saying, maybe the governor, he is suffering from psychological problem, or he needs somebody to talk to, because he seems he has some issues. The past, he is not in peace with his past. And I think as a chaplain, maybe under bishops, they should go and talk to him for counseling and for that kind of a thing. But Miriam, to some extent, this is a governor who is known to do all manner of dramas and all manner of things to ensure that he remains relevant. And I think these are part of his one of his tactics that he uses very well. Because Miriam, we have seen him in the streets with a group of people demonstrating. We have seen him having some funny haircuts and going even to the Parliament House when he was an MP for Makandara. Therefore, this is a man who is dramatic to some extent. And I think to his fans and to his supporters, they buy that narrative. And that is why he keeps repeating those kind of things. That is why you find him, even as a governor, he wears these things that these artists, the Gagaton artist wears. And you look and you compare with those guys, and you see he looks like one of them. And that is the kind of governor that we have. And I think that is a strategy, because in politics, every politician has a way, and they use different tactics to win votes. And maybe that is one of the main tactics that the governor of Nairobi uses, because you see him, he has a different way of doing things compared to other leaders in this nation. And the kind of posts that he is posting and so on is a kind of inciting and exciting and making the people who support him, who follow him, see that their governor is still relevant. But Miriam, to some extent, I agree that as a leader, silence is a very great weapon, because when you remain silent, when you don't, because I followed the Mike Sonko, the governor, and Miriam, if you post something in his page that is not, that is contrary to what he was saying, he will come and reply to you direct, and he will use some big and some words that are not even good for a person of his status to use. And you go to his status. I don't know whether he refrained in recent times, but some few months ago, that is what he was doing. You reprise something and he replies you. Now there's that kind of word between the public and the governor, and that is something that is not good. And I remember sometimes back when we had a judiciary kind of a conference, and that the president was advising the chief justice that it's not good when these people in social media use memes, they use your pictures to define you and all these kind of things. It is not good to reply them, because when you start replying them and taking those things seriously and putting them in your heart, you will suffer some hypertension. And these people, at the end of the day, they don't care. They're just making fun. And to some of them, they are not even serious. It's a part of having sometimes in social media and ensuring that everything is okay. And the president was telling the chief justice and not to reply these people, because if you continue replying and answering them, you will end up getting more and more in the trap. And at the end of the day, you become angry and they will start laughing at you. And that is the point that all leaders need to understand, that they should not take what the public says sometimes seriously, because you have a mandate to deliver. If you concentrate on these funny things that they are doing, you will end up not delivering the promise that you made to them. Because Miriam, if you are aiming to deliver services, all these people will talk. Not everybody will love you, but at the end of the day, make sure you deliver the promises that you made to your people, because that is the call, and the call of leadership is to deliver services, is to work for your people, is to ensure that they have good services, they have good facilities, that to ensure that their livelihood is improving, but not going in the bad direction. And that is my take on that issue. And I feel like we need to have leaders who are a bit serious on the issues that they deal with. Because Miriam, if you see, when you compare the governor of Kiambu and the governor of Nairobi, and I remember he was in one of the television and he was saying how they used to smoke bag in the parliament buildings, and you see these kind of funny statements. You see, these people are funny, and maybe some of them, they are more of comedians. And you see, we need, even as Kenyans, to start making leadership a call for the serious people who know what they want to do, and people who are service oriented, people who are futuristic, and the people who deliver service at the end of the day, Miriam. I think we, as Kenyans, we need also, next time, we need to vote leaders. And I think now people are starting to realize the kind of mistake that they make at the ballot. It will come to haunt them after elections. And you see what they did to Governor of Kiambu, because they made a wrong decision, but now they went back and rectified. And other counties have learned that it's good to have good leaders in the first place when you're given opportunity to vote.
All right. So you've said Governor Sonko replies. I mean, he has time, because Biden is doing part of his job. So I guess he has enough time in his hands to reply to people commenting. But anyway, as we say there, we wish him well. So now let's turn now to, you've talked about delivery of service. Let's see what President Uhuru Kenyatta has been doing in line with his Big Four agenda very quickly. And we talked about the launch of the new Nairobi commuter rail service the other day. And of course, commuters in Nairobi will soon be spared anger and frustration, which I think already has, associated with matatus after the much anticipated Nairobi commuter rail service was launched. And travelers will be ferried to and from Nairobi Central Station under the commuter rail project, a collaboration of the Kenya Railway Service and the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. Now, the commuter rail is part of the master plan of an integrated commuter system within the city and its environs. It also comprises the bus, rapid transit, and monorail and rail and underground rail. Now, operations have started in Embakasi, Pipeline, and Donholm Railway. The 3 railway stations are among the 10 stations the Kenya Railways is upgrading and constructing. The others are at Umoja, Kibra, Thika, Bagathi Way, Kenyatta, and Strathmore Universities, Kitengela and Dogoto. So we've seen there, and we talked about that. Something else also, President Uhuru Kenyatta has been able to deliver in line with the Big Four agenda and some of the things that he promised. He has fulfilled one of his key election campaign pledges when he commissioned the revamped Rivertex textile factory in Eldoret town. The new processing plant, which was modernized at a cost of 5 billion Kenya shillings, will create over 3,000 new jobs, rejig the economy of Eldoret town, which I think has, because President Uhuru Kenyatta, apparently, according to Kenyans, all these shirts he's been wearing are from Rivertex. So the last national address President Uhuru Kenyatta made, and I think he did not have that shirt that time. He had a suit, and Kenyans were saying, "Oh, thank God, Rivertex today did not send a shirt, because when they send a shirt to President Uhuru Kenyatta, he either he makes the curfews so tight or he brings other measures." So they're saying, "We thank God Rivertex did not send a shirt." But we've seen President Uhuru Kenyatta has become the trademark of what we can do and what we can manufacture and how we can revive even a lot of those industries that have since been dead by him, embracing and wearing this shirt. And we've seen, and now it has become, we've seen more men and more Kenyans trying to embrace who we are, and the kitenge that was thought to be a women thing, now we see a lot of men embracing, and President Uhuru Kenyatta has been on the forefront of wearing these shirts, which are from Rivertex, from what I understand, but they've been quite lovely, Professor.
Yeah, Miriam, on the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's legacy, he has done extremely well. And Miriam, when you give your manifesto, you give your pledge, Miriam, you assume that the things will be constant and they will work out the way you have intended or planned them to do. But you know very well, Miriam, that the country for the last 9 months, Miriam, we have been faced with a pandemic, Miriam, which has disoriented us. But be it as it may, Miriam, the president has worked very well side by side, dealing with the pandemic, trying to leave a legacy and achieve his Peak 4 agenda, Miriam. Mm-hmm. Like now, Miriam, when it comes to universal healthcare, Miriam, we have had 4 counties, Miriam, where we have had a pilot, and it has become a successful story, Miriam. And Miriam, as we speak today, Miriam, when you see a commitment from his government, Miriam, that is going to cover all the civil servants, Miriam, where even the doctors are going to be included in this one. So it means when it comes to dealing with matters to do with health, Miriam, the president is on top. And even when it comes, Miriam, there are so many hospitals during this pandemic. And that's why I choose, Miriam, that to see something good. Mm-hmm. It's not only good to just see the negatives. Corona, there are some of the positives, Miriam, things that which has come up with this corona. And in the long run, Miriam, there are so many hospitals which are going to come as a result of this. Even the informal settlement in this city, Miriam, they are going to have an hospital. Mm-hmm. Not only to deal with corona, but to deal with other diseases, Miriam. So, Miriam, on that, since it was part of East Universal Healthcare, Miriam, in terms of affordable health for Kenyans, that one is very good, Miriam. Mm-hmm. And remember, Miriam, the cabinet now is trying to have some recommendation, Miriam, to transform NHIF so that it can be able to cover even coronavirus and that other element, Miriam. Mm-hmm. Miriam, when it comes to affordable housing, Miriam, yes, I said, Miriam, you can promise an elephant. But you go to the forest, Miriam, and to hunt, and you don't find an elephant, Miriam. You find a rabbit, something small, Miriam. You can bring home, and the children can have something to eat. So, Miriam, in Pangani, you can see more than 238 units have been paid for housing, Miriam. He has indicated that this one can be done. And remember, Miriam, what the president did from East 4 agenda, Miriam, he cascaded them from Vision 2030. So whoever comes 2022, he has got no choice, Miriam, but to continue with affordable housing. How I pray that this pandemic comes down so that, Miriam, that we can continue doing that one. Mm-hmm. Miriam, when it talks about manufacturing, you have talked about Rivertex. You have heard, Miriam, the president reading from the front. He's saying, buy Kenya, build Kenya. Mm-hmm. When you are buying Kenya and build Kenya, you are talking about manufacturing. You have seen what they have done to come in, Miriam. You can see when in Kitui, there was one of the counties, Miriam, which was able to produce the face masks, Miriam. Mm-hmm. We have had some of the equipment we are using to fight COVID-19, Miriam. They are being manufactured in the country, Miriam. Miriam, I saw yesterday, Miriam. Was it yesterday or the other day? Some young people in Yaururu.
Yes.
They have come with it. This is what you call about manufacturing, Miriam.
Is it a 7-seater vehicle?
No, at least you can be able to see, Miriam, that these things are doable, are achievable, and can be done. And this is very, very, very important, Miriam. And Miriam, hear this. He wants to live a united country. He wants to live a peaceful country. I did say here, Miriam, that the peace is development and development is peace. Without peace, Miriam, all that we have done from independence, Miriam, one day we can wake up and we will destroy Nairobi. It has been done elsewhere and it can be done here. See what's going on in Ethiopia now. So the fact, Miriam, is committed, Miriam, to build, to live a united country, to live a legacy of a united country, Miriam. It is a country which is on the way towards development, Miriam. And this is a huge, Miriam, a huge legacy. Miriam, let me tell you this. There is no president of a country. We took 20 years, Miriam, to start asking to change the constitution of Kenya. It was a struggle, Miriam, the demonstration all over, to remove Section 2A of the Kenyan Constitution. Miriam, to have 2010 Constitution, Miriam, you know what happened 2007, 2008. But out of his own volition, Miriam, together with the Prime Minister, he has said, we can touch the Constitution. What a rich legacy from a president. Presidents never touch constitutions, Miriam. Presidents leave the status quo. So on this, Miriam, when I look at it, and if we are going to achieve it, Miriam, we may not be able to see the results coming down, but hear this, Miriam, passing 35% of the revenue going to the counties, money going to the village. What a rich legacy is that, Miriam? And hear this. He has agreed that all factions which have been developed are going to be full. We said yesterday are going to be fully developed, Miriam. So from where I sit, the big four agenda for President Uhuru Muigai are on course, and that's why we need to have this BBI, and then we will never get worried, Miriam. You have talked about the transport system, Miriam, in Nairobi. You have seen the kind of caliber, the kind of leaders, Miriam, he has been tapping from the military. Disciplined officers, very patriotic Kenyans who are ready to take this country, Miriam. Miriam, in a short span, Miriam, you are going to see how Kenya Meat Commission is going to be on its feet, because now it is under the management of the military. Kenya Defense Forces, Miriam. You have talked about Nairobi, Miriam. The fact, Miriam, that you can have the people of Nairobi be able to move from one place to another, Miriam, that one is saving man hours. We spend 3 hours on a traffic jam going to work. We spend 3 hours coming home. So, Miriam, those are 6 man hours wasted in a day, Miriam. So, Miriam, this is huge. And remember, Miriam, by the end of this year, you are not going to have the congestion in the city, Miriam. We have started having a management of modern cities, the way they are being arranged all over the world. So, Miriam, well, let me just basically have this to say, that the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta is on course.
All right. Well, thank you so much there, Professor. So before Karanja, you come in still on arrival of the Rivertex there, we've seen that Rivertex is expected to directly employ more than 3,000 people, with the overall potential for jobs projected to rise to 10,000 jobs. Their direct and indirect benefits include vegetable oil, animal feeds, with a value chain benefiting over 150,000 people in the country. And of course, besides the Eldoret-based processor, Thika cotton mills, Bedi investments, and Ken Neat factories have also reopened because they need the cotton, right? So other industries, because of reopening of Rivertex, also have been are reopened to support that. And the quest to return cotton farming to profitability in Kenya has received a vital jolt with the recent opening of all the textile factories in the country. All right, very well. And of course, this is the fruition of a deliberate government interventions targeting the revival and growth of local industries. For instance, having the price of electricity for textile farms, the government will cut production costs. So we see this is a very deliberate move by President Uhuru Kenyatta. And you've said, Professor, that you've mentioned that Nairobi is trying to now get into the levels of world, international, wonderful, lovely cities like what you've seen out there. So Nairobi Expressway perhaps might boost that phase. We've already seen a lot of developments happening here across the city, and we've seen a little town cities in within Nairobi. When you go to Upper Hill, it's a whole CBD by itself. You go to Westlands, you go, and you've seen that. And Kenyans will go into 2022 elections with a different skyline in the city, as the 27-kilometer Nairobi Expressway is expected to have been completed. The 62 billion Kenya shillings project, which was started late last year, could revolutionize transport in Nairobi and ease traffic jams on Mombasa Road. So that is also something else that Kenyans, it has started. When you drive through the Waiyaki Way and all that, you can see the work has already started. So Karanja, in line with all of this. And also before you come in, Karanja, the Maktaba Kuu building, we saw that beautiful library at Upper Hill. Professor Amshi, I don't know if you've seen the latest.
Yes,
so lovely. And President Uhuru Kenyatta opened it a few days ago, and the government now is implementing a 250 million Kenya shillings virtual library to ensure Kenyans have access to quality, timely and relevant information held by the Kenya National Library from the comfort of their home. So you don't have to walk into the library to borrow and get a book or sit down and read, but also now they're working on a virtual library, which I think is really, really cool. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has disclosed that the virtual library, which will be launched by June 2021, will have a capacity of 15 million publications. Now, that is wonderful for a person like me that loves books. That's really good. And he was speaking in Nairobi, and I don't have to go all the way there. It's even a double plus for me. He was speaking in Nairobi when he opened the new ultra-modern Maktaba Kuu building, which houses the Kenya National Library Services headquarters. The 2-year virtual library project is being implemented by the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage in collaboration with the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund. And of course, the head of state emphasized that an important part of the virtual library project is to ensure that all Kenyans, wherever they are, have access to reading materials. And I think that is how you empower young people, because information is power. Karanja.
Thank you, Miriam. And first of all, let me comment on that issue of library and so on. Miriam, when they talk of having a virtual library, that means even when you are at your home, you can get a book and read. And when you get this information media, we'll end up having even Kenyans who are enlightened, people who can make a wise decision, even in the matters like voting, even the like of the moment that we have a constitution amendment moment. If people have been reading all these kind of publications, they could be able to make a very wise decision, because Miriam, knowledge is power. And Miriam, we cannot dispute the fact that people who get these books, they read and so on, even the way they make an argument, the way they make a discussion, the way they talk to other people, the way they socialize, is quite different, and they impact even the society, because at the end of the day, they will be able to share that knowledge to those people maybe who are not able to go and read those books. And that is one thing of ensuring that we have a country that even these idling, people who look around idling around, now they can have a book to read, because maybe some of them might say they will not get to these libraries, but when you have it through your phone or your laptop, then that is a milestone and a great achievement. Miriam, we have talked about the river tax. And Miriam, one thing that we must agree is that the president is living by example, and that's what leaders should do. And when he reopened the river tax industry, he was wearing those shirts, and from that day, even he encouraged the CSs and those government officers every Friday to be wearing those shirts from Kenya, made in Kenya. And he is also encouraging people to have that culture of wearing materials that are made in Kenya, having that look and that great is one way of ensuring that the manufacturing industry is growing, and we understand that this was part of his big four agenda. And Miriam, when you go around the town, not only in Nairobi, but in Nanyuki and the other towns around, you'll see men wearing those smart shirts, and they look good, they look smart, and it's a culture that is starting to get root in our people. You see every man now is trying to get at least 3 or 2 shirts, and that is something that is very nice, because at the end of the day, we are promoting local industries, we are promoting local designers and so on. Therefore, we are making employment out of it, and this is one way of creating jobs and ensuring that young people are engaged, because majority of those people who are doing those fashions and so on, they are young people, they are graduates, they are people who have gone for these trainings, and they are doing a good job. Therefore, that one is a milestone and is a very great thing in legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And Miriam, also, we have this, I remember, I don't know whether it is through this second term, when he launched the vehicle. We have an assembly, a motor vehicle assembly there that is producing these Peugeot and other vehicles there, I think so. But it's something that is in process, and they even encouraging those guys who do those kind of mechanical engineering and the automotive engineers to have somewhere to work, because at the end of the day, they assemble these vehicles, they do all those manner of things, and that is something that the president is doing in matter of manufacturing and so on. Therefore, when we talk of President Uhuru legacy, we are talking from a tangible evidence, from something that we can see. These are not stories. These are things that Kenyans can attribute to. These are people who can see, and this is something that is a reality. They have moved from talking, now it's action, because Miriam, we said, well done is better than well said, because now President Uhuru is doing it, and we are exactly happy, because that is a very good thing. And Miriam, through that culture of manufacturing and so on, and we have talked of the young guys from Nanyuki and Nyahururu who have come out with a vehicle, a very good one, and it looks like these tuk-tuks, and it is made in Kenya through the local available materials that we have, and you find that even other young men and women are starting to exploit their talents, to exploit their innovative and inventions kind of technologies, to ensure that they have something to do. Because at the end of the day, these are culture that we are cultivating. Because when you look at the countries like China, they are where they are because they encourage their people to be innovators, to make these phones that we use, all these technologies, and that is why they are becoming even a superpower. Because Miriam, when you start producing things and selling to other people, you make a higher margin of profit, and that is why how you grow your GDP and your country also in terms of development, and that is where we are heading as a country. And Miriam, another thing on the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta is the issue of the youth. President have made sure that everything that he is doing, he is encouraging the youth to do more and to become the best version of themselves. And we have seen him even appointing CSS who are young people below 35 years. And that is something that it is giving morale, it is motivating the young people that we have not been sidelined. We are still part of the government. And that is something that is very good. We saw the young people, the great job that they are doing in the sector of ICT, the drones that are being made in Manyani and so on. Therefore, President and the youth, that is something that is close to his heart, and he's ensuring that even through the BBI, we have a youth commission that will be able to focus and to champion for the interest of the young people. And that is something that the president is doing very well. And on his legacy, that one is a tick, and he has done it very, very, very well. And on the last issue, infrastructure, Miriam, when you go around these countries, counties rather, you'll see that we have a major, especially in every constituency, we have a national government project, maybe it a road, a TVET technical institution being under construction, an ICT hub, all these things, and some industries, hospitals, and so on. Therefore, the government of the day, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of schools, in terms of roads, in terms of all these social amenities, the government is ensuring that we have them in place. We talk of electricity. Miriam, we have the last mile connectivity, that when you go to some of the interior parts of our counties, like when you go to some areas, like I saw the other day, some remote areas in Nyandarua, in the Ragwa constituency to be specific, They have they have electricity now through the President Uhuru Kenyatta legacy of milestone connectivity. When you go to some remote areas in Laikipia counties, all this is Isiolo, go to Marsabit, go to everywhere in this country, Miriam, people have electricity because of the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the government of the day. Therefore, we are seeing it, and it's a reality. And Miriam, we cannot finish without saying that in the issue of the health sector, the universal health care, he has done it. We had the piloting project, and it was a success. And Miriam, in the near future, we'll see it being launched to every counties, and that will ensure that Kenyans are well protected in matters of their health. And that is something that we even encourage Kenyans. When we pay our taxes, we will not be feeling bad because we have something to be happy of and to celebrate. And finally, Miriam, and I think we should be calling it the 5 agenda, because now we have the peace and the unification of our country through the BBI. And that is something, is a big agenda, is something that the president is working for. And he is ensuring that when he leaves office, he will leave a united Kenya, a peaceful Kenya, an all-inclusive country where we have shared responsibility, where we have a prosperity, where we have equitable shared resources, where we have credible elections. And that is something, is part of his legacy, and is something we celebrate, because Miriam, we know the mess and the kind of suffering that Kenyans get into when we have a violence erupting from a disputed election. And this is something that the president is going to solve. And we are happy for him that is a legacy, because unity, peace, and harmony, that is the biggest success for every country to develop. And that is what the president is doing, so that even the president will come in future, will not concentrate on matters of unity and so on. We will concentrate merely on project development and delivery of services. Thank you, Miriam.
Very well put. There, Jevon Karanja, thank you so much. And of course, Professor Onyari, thank you so much. And President Uhuru Kenyatta, I don't care what they say. You look very good on those shirts. Keep representing. That's how you lead. You just don't say it, but you also do it, so that you can lead from the front. And Kenyans have really started embracing our own local manufactured, clothing there from Rivertex. And of course, during the launch of that Maktaba coup, President pointed out that that library, which is the first multi-purpose library in Kenya, is part of his administration's promise to open new avenues for Kenyans to learn, obtain information, expand their intellectual horizons, and promote a reading culture. He said Maktaba coup is not just a building, but an ever-broadening platform from where Kenyans can build an existing knowledge to address our current societal challenges. And an informed nation is an informed citizenry. It's a very aware and a powerful citizenry, and that's how we can move even the development agenda of our country forward. Thank you so much for your time. We will take a short break, but we shall be back here on top of the hour, and we shall continue looking at the BBI and perhaps looking at some of these things that have been said and what exactly the BBI is saying about those things. All right. Thank you so much. My name is Miriam Ugutu. Bye-bye for now. See you in about half an hour.